Hello and welcome to another episode of Up the Potting Shed. In this episode we're going to be doing a tour of what I have grown in May. Yes, I'm copying everyone else, they're all doing it, plot tours, you name it. Anyway, I did think it would be interesting. I'm in North West Cumbria, so right up near the Scottish borders. So it could be interesting for you to see what I'm getting away with outside. Just having a little look at my calendar. And I'm doing pretty well. I've got a lot of the things on the list: broccoli, cabbage, carrot, cauliflower, coriander, courgette, cucumber, daikon, fennel, kohlrabi, lettuce, melon, radish, rocket, spinach, spring onion, sweet corn and watermelon. So when are you likely to be able to harvest all of those things that you're planting in May? Well, according to my calendar, that long list of things are going to be ready in September and October. So bear in mind, gardening is a long game. Another look at my calendar tells me that if I had things planted in a polytunnel, I could be harvesting baby carrots, broad beans, broccoli, cabbage, carrot, cauliflower, the list goes on. Come on, I'll give you a look at the progress so far. I'm over the moon. All of the framing is up. I've currently got about 35 pepper plants, and in the greenhouse I've got something like 40 little tomato plants, and they're going to be growing in pots all along the centre. So I've got melons, I've got cucumbers. Well, I'm just absolutely overjoyed. Here we are for the tour of the greenhouse, and I've got my hat on again because I'm squinting out. And anyway, I do love a hat. I mean, just look at those tomatoes. And I think I'm going to get some of these just straight into their final pots because they just want to go. So I showed you the chilies last week, and they're doing great. I'm using Jack's Magic compost. It's not renowned for being brilliant, and I did start them. I started to see them looking a little bit yellow in colour. So I've given them a little bit of chili focus, not full strength, and I always do that. These are cayennes. I didn't actually plan on relying on these, but I have just had no luck germinating a cayenne this year. Well, actually, in desperation, I went to the kitchen, found a dry cayenne, emptied out some seeds, and those have just germinated, but my chance of getting a crop off those are slim. These I bonsai'd last season, and they weren't a great candidate. They just didn't like being squashed into a tiny little pot. This is one of my bonsai pots. I'm currently just growing some lettuce seedlings in it. And that grew in that. So I've potted them on. They're getting some feed, and I'll just see how I go. They've got a few flowers on. And to be honest, I've still got a lot of last season's cayennes. So if I just get a few pods off of them, I'll be happy. I did try and take a cutting. Most of those look dead. So I've got my strawberries. They're doing pretty well. This is my first time attempting to grow strawberries in the greenhouse. Look at that little red one there. They're beautiful. Here we've got some shallots, and these are my globe onions. Giant Bulgarian leek hiding behind the peppers at the back, and I've just spotted an ant. Finally, we have liftoff on some beans. Do you know the thing about beans? They grow when they want to grow, not when you want them to grow, that's for sure. And here are some really early sowings of the violet Cosa bean. Absolutely beautiful bean. They have purple pods, but when you cook them they go green, and they did fabulously well for me last year, so I'm looking forward to growing them again. Look, I've turned a milk carton into a self-watering celery planter. I can't take credit for the idea. I saw somebody on YouTube do this with old fizzy pop bottles, but I thought this would work well. We get through a couple of these a week, so I've literally just chopped them in half, and I've used the bottom half to contain the water. I've popped holes in the bottom of the lid, filled it with compost, and potted the celery into it. The top of the milk carton sits in the water and sucks up the water, and that's rather good for a celery because they hate to go dry. They need a constant supply of water, but they don't like to be too soggy, and that's just keeping them nice and moist. I'll keep posting updates on that and let you know how it goes. The other exciting thing that I managed to get hold of is some super soil. If you haven't heard of it, have a look online, and I recommend having a look at Steve, so that's Digwell Greenfingers. Have a look at his channel. He's got some great videos on the use of super soil, and in fact it was Steve who very kindly gave me some super soil so that I could try it on some of my dead compost. It's early days. I've only just mixed it up, gone round and given everything a good feed with it, but I'm really hopeful, because apparently you can even turn sand into soil with this stuff. I'll keep you posted. Just to the side of my greenhouse, I have what I call my secret garden, and I call it my secret garden because in summer I'll tend to grow something vining up this rustic arch, and it's quite low, so you don't know that this little area exists unless you duck under the arch. So I found this old bread crate behind the back of my compost heap, and I thought, wow, I'm going to grow salad in that, and it's doing quite well. I've got some lovely winter density, and all I'm doing is harvesting off the leaves, Charles Dowding style. On my channel you see me having a go. If you want perfection, there are many other gardening channels out there, but you know what, I hope this will inspire you to have a go. Look, I've seen all those lovely little hoop things people make, but yes, I was cheap. I bought cheap hoop, and of course it doesn't hold up very well, but it's covering my brassicas. It's keeping the cabbage white out. It's going to be fine. Well, that's it for this week. Very strange. We started up the potting shed, and now we're in my prep room. Bit of a utility next door to my pantry. Incidentally, I will get around to some wine videos. As you can see, quite a lot of wine up here, and it all needs maintenance, and that might be interesting to share. I've got a plan to make nettle beer. Should have been doing it today, but the dog needs grooming, all kinds of other jobs to get on with, and the nettles are still good, so I'm going to leave them growing for another few days, and then I'll get onto that nettle beer. Okay, take care. See you next time. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. It all helps. Bye for now.